Hold up, I should turn off the tourney music, because we are in the game. And that's catching properly. Let's run a quick test of my Twitch chat. Yes, it's working. We have no replays. Well, I need to download them, of course. New folder, JC8. Exciting. And I think we're actually going to start with Cookies versus Jim because it was the first round played of the entire tournament. So it's kind of a fun thing. So we're going to go group stage. And then what group are these guys in? These guys are in Group B. Okay. Cookies versus Jim. And he's got us an info.txt. That's what I love to see. Very nicely done. Well, alrighty, let's get into it then. I started the recording too early, but that's okay. Oh, and which one is first? 107, 120. Yeah, okay, so it's gonna be this one. Hey everyone, and welcome finally to Jaraci Cup 8. Ooh, I am excited. This is obviously gonna be probably the biggest DOK tournament ever. And we are starting out right now with a game between Jim and Cookies because this is the very first game played in the group stage. So, bit of respect to these guys for getting it in so quick. I think I seeded the bracket and they played their game like 20 minutes after that or something like that. I can't exactly remember though, but first game here looks like it's gonna be on College Teeth and Cookies. The lower seed is gonna pick Soban. Jim picks Coalition. Be excited to see what these two get up to. Soban obviously always a pretty spicy faction to see. He has retired the base runner. Looks like Harry Production coming out right away. Uh-oh. No, he's got an idle salve right off the bat. That's alright, though. And his opponent here, Jim, of course, playing Coalition, who we've seen a couple times before in tournaments past. He actually had some seeding points, if I remember correctly, for this tournament. Let me check in tournament announcements, actually. Jim... Yeah, he had 1 point here, so he did obviously play in a couple Jaraci Cups before. I think that Cookies would be the favorite in this match, but we'll just have to see what happens, of course. It's going to be LAV Fab and Carry Production upgrade on the way for him, so a bit of LAV spam is the idea for Cookies. And as for Jim, this looks like SC first, if I had to guess. But it looks like he needs to... Uh-oh. Okay, so LAV Fab started now. He could do a little quick drop here and get the money for it anyway, but I think he wasn't expecting the RU cost on the SC. That is actually... I think new from when he was playing in Jaraci Cups before. See, it is SC first, but it's delayed here because he accidentally didn't get any RUs. Sorry, I was texting to Zeno there, who I just played a couple games with on Homeworld Remastered. Looks like he's moving his carrier out a little bit early here as well, but that's alright.
I can't believe I signed up for Salve.
Oh, hey, look at that. Hey, Sparrow, nice. Welcome, Sparrow. But so, I love this. Jim is going to go for a little bit of shenaniganry over here with a turret on the second base of Jim. Now, often this wouldn't work because you're playing against, how do you say? You're playing against Soban, so the base runner can, like, pop a targeting jammer onto it if he was going, like, SC first or something. But I'm always a fan of this kind of nonsense somehow, you know? Like, it's so annoying, but I love the idea. He can get high ground on it, I think, if he kind of flushes it up against this rock here, but... Support Cruiser's done for Cookies, so it looks like it was like 5 LAVs into SC. Gotta say, I'd rather see him be a bit more proactive with these LAVs, but he does have a slight eco disadvantage, but a slight army advantage. But we'll see how much value this base runner gets him. Maybe he actually has to deal with this for a while, but... No, it looks like the base runner is going to yield to that carrier, so he has sort of cleared that out. And move order coming out here onto his opponent's third, so it looks like he does want to pressure with these LAVs now. Jim's got a couple himself, though, but neither of them had gone for tech yet, so this is actually a window that he could maybe make something like this work. The turret actually goes down anyway. Does it have range on the salvager? No. You can see that turret actually does damage to the carrier. But this is what it really wants, is these salvager kills here, and it is going to get one, right? No, the salvager barely gets away, so it's quite nice for cookies here. And like one more missile will clear that out. Down it goes. I don't think that's really worth it, but he has delayed his opponent just a little bit. Nearly killed a salvager there, but you know, close only counts, and horseshoes and hand grenades, isn't that what they say? And still no tech either. Greetings, says Roden. Okay, here we go. So AV Tech finally starting here for cookies, but also for Jim at the same time. So it looks like neither of them really want to fight with these LAVs if they don't have to. And I think that's wise. I mean, they both like to have the, they both like to have the counter unit here, but Jim actually coming out ahead on these early trades, and with that base runner, he does pick up the artifact, so he's going to be bringing the scoreline to 1-0 here. Bit of a comfortable start for him, I would say. We do have Assault Pack starting for cookies, but with AV Fab on the way, I wouldn't suspect he would invest into too many upgrades for these LAVs here. You know, with that being said, Jim's doing the same thing, but he's also getting LAV Armor 1, so maybe he will actually invest into this. I guess, you know, this is Kalash Teeth, so perhaps the AV Tech is, like, more designed for Assault Chip Fab, or maybe he just wants it in case, but he doesn't actually really want to build them, so we'll have to see about that. Jim, of course, with that first extraction does come out. Assault Pack will be done in about 20 seconds here, but obviously, like, Cookies would love to punish and kill that thing, but he can't really be confident because he knows those LAVs are sharking around somewhere. But this base runner could be a big deal, because obviously if they come in and they're attacking the eco, he can drop a targeting jammer on them, and then there's one on the retreat path as well, so you could imagine that could get pretty nasty. Second SC is on the way for him, actually, but he does have AV Feb done now, and with these guys up here in the front line, I'd love to see him build them as well. He's got the money, you can tell. Needs to drop a logistics module, though. And LAV's here up on the high ground, going to chunk out this base runner, which is pretty nice. The targeting jammer going to be deployed in a good position. Catches all these LAVs, actually, and now they have to kind of move out of the targeting jammer, but they stopped, which means they have to restart accelerating, so really, really good value here off that TJ. And these guys have got armor 1, mind you, but I think Cookies manages to trade efficiently there, which is really good for him. Okay, AVs are on the queue now, and I'd love to see the armor upgrade too, because obviously he is going to get a bit of pressure that way. Like by those LAVs, you would assume. Not to mention, he doesn't know about this, but there are AVs from his opponent too. You always want to have that armor upgrade if you're going to fight with armored units together. It is going to be AC Fab, though, coming out of the queue very, very early here. And honestly, I like it, because, again, this is College Teeth, and you've only seen LAVs from your opponent so far. You do need to worry about air. He does have a probe out, though, in that regard, so I think he's going to try and scout it. But, yeah, you do always need to worry about air, but, like, so far the AC seems like a really good pick for everything that's on the field right now. So I like it. I think it's good. He does have armor 1. I like that, too, and he's building more AVs. Yeah, I think this is all pretty much what he ought to do. Probe sees the AVs in the mid-ground there. It looks like these LAVs are going to try to head it off, which I really like that idea. LAVs, obviously, they can do anti-air, so they could kill this probe. Oh, it's close. Looks like it's going to get away, though. But they stop him from scouting if there's a third base or not, and that's really valuable info. Because Cookies would like to know. Heavy Vehicles Armor 2 done now. That's really, really good, because these LAVs, obviously, they don't have any damage ups from Jim, but you can imagine the LAVs could be planning on going for like an attack against those AVs at some point, so. And he's gonna go for armor 3. Again, I still like it. I think this is the right call here. He's put one on C's, one on RU's on the third base, which is also pretty good to see. And AC Fab is done, so I would imagine he'll be building those pretty soon. He needs the money for it first, of course, but they aren't that expensive, so he will have them on the queue in a moment, I assume. Looks like Probe gonna get caught by that base runner here. This guy's abilities are on cooldown. Did he drop a turret somewhere? Or, no, he's new, right, because he lost the first one. But it's armor 3 versus armor 1 here, so this is definitely a fight that you would expect to go the Savant player's way before that targeting jammer, but after it, obviously. This is going to be very, very nice for Jim, and in fact, for Cookies, that is, and in fact, he's going to smoke out the AVs so that he has some time for these AVs of his own to just kill these LAVs, right? They're not getting hit, obviously, by the AVs, and this is really, really nicely done. This is, like, exactly how he wanted that fight to go. None of the AVs going to die here, but the damage is kind of already done. Cookie's going to be walking away from that trade very, very happy with how it turned out. So excellently played there, and he does have Railfab on the queue now as well. I don't think he even needs it, but like Railfab is just so good in general, especially as Soban, it's probably okay. But he probably wants to just build another AC here, and he can drop a logistics module to get the fleet cap for that one up. Looks like these guys gonna go over to heal on this third base, which is also pretty cool, because then if his opponent tries to flank him, right, he's ready, because that third base location obviously gonna be healing them up as well, and then it's not vulnerable to the attack. We did actually see Sport Cruiser Anti-Air come out from Jim, I noticed that, and he does have Railfab too. So SC Anti-Air gonna snipe the probe, down it goes. And Fighter and Gunship Tech I noticed was on the queue also, so it looks like it's gonna be Rails and AVs with Fighters supplementing. Again though, it feels a little awkward to be getting LAV upgrades then if you're gonna move away from them later, and that's why I was kind of saying like when he gets AVs he probably won't go for the LAV upgrades, but then he did. I think Assault Pack is pretty standard just because you want that mobility. And you usually will have some LAVs out across the field. But getting double armor upgrades is a little bit strange for Jim. I don't think he'll be able to use it terribly well, but he's actually still building LAV. That's kind of interesting. But anyway, he does have railguns, right? No mag excel, as you would expect, and he's going to have air. So I think that's kind of what he needs to hold off these ACs. But he doesn't know about them yet, and that's obviously important to note. A little bit of pressure coming out from Jim now onto his opponent's third base there. He actually used the boost, I would have saved it, but obviously this is going to pull the LAVs over, but he's already getting kills. One Salvager goes down, second one soon to fall. Yep, down he goes. Yeah, he actually kills all three Salvagers that were on this location, so that's really, really nice for Cookies. And he doesn't have the upgrade advantage, but taking numbers fights like this, he may actually still win it anyway. But he does want to back away, it looks like. Obviously, it is armor 2 on that other side. And starting to detect some power upgrades as well. Support Cruiser, as you can see, unlocking that carrier. Excuse me, I've got hiccups. And he's moving out across the field now. Power 2 on that Swan carrier means it'll be able to harass these rails just a little bit anyway. And I think because there's not many of them and they don't have mag excel, that means that that's going to give a window for the ACs to get on top of them. So I think this is good, actually. I think he's got the push here. Probably wants to get the carry production upgrade at some point, but he is teching power 2, so nothing he can do about that, I suppose. But you know what? I would cancel all these LAVs. Definitely cancel this, get the production upgrade if you're going to be queuing up this many units. But I would cancel these LAVs and start getting railguns instead. I think, like, he's got the tech, obviously, you know that. Whoa! I sneezed. Oh my gosh. He's got the tech, obviously, you can see that, but, he's also got armor 3, right? Which obviously affects the railguns as well. And so he could, you know, he could do a lot of freaking damage with railguns here. I think that would be maybe a good call. At any rate, he needs another SC, though, to be in the front line at some point. Not, like, a huge priority right now, but that carrier is slightly damaged, you know, so I'm obviously watching that. But it looks like LAV's congregating in the base. AV's getting ready for a counterattack. I think that's a really good idea. Or not a counterattack, because he's the one attacking in the first place. But, you know, a flank. These ACs, meanwhile, moving up onto the side, though. The only problem is he still doesn't have any anti-air. He didn't scout that. And so he is going to be caught by these air units a little bit now. And actually, with the Sunder on the railguns coming out on the armor there, that's actually really, really convenient for him. Also, some missile battery fab starts immediately, and I would also go for AC anti-air, because he's got them on the field right now. This guy gonna want to use his heal ability just about now. Because obviously that gunship is gonna launch, I think, right? Well, he hasn't launched the gunship yet. He's probably waiting to find the LAVs in that case. Attack Missile Barrage comes out, manages to chunk out 2 AVs, get 1 to half. This guy on his last legs, really. He's got 130 HP. There's the gunship, but it's too late, so he's not going to be able to kill this guy, because with the heal coming off, I think he'll be okay. AC Anti-Air is getting teched. I really like that idea. And the gunship going to fly in here onto the eco. Not the best target, I don't think, because at this point he really needs to worry about his opponent's army. But it looks like Cookie's a little bit slow to split, so he is going to get some kills there. AV's just doing whatever the crap they want over here, though, and that is going to be a dead SC. Looks like it's 3 Salvagers chunked here by the gunship. You were trying to go to sleep, but dude, there's a gunship, alright? You can't. Illegal. That's what I say. Well, Missile Battery Fab is done here, so Cookie's probably best to build like 1 or 2 of those. And Because obviously that gunship is out too, and heavy air like that doesn't usually care too much about like light anti-air fire. AV's moving right up to here to these railguns, and they've actually gotten on top of his opponent here. No, there is mag excel done, that is. So I mean, these guys are not gonna like necessarily just instantly die, but like they are taking a lot of damage here. And remember, these guys are armor 3 as well. See, he's gonna kill all of these railguns. And right before the ACs get in here too, this is quite good for Cookies. And Jim gonna launch the strike fighters, but again, these guys have anti-air now, so this is not gonna be, you know, like a wet noodle defense. Looks like LAV is actually also boosting, and they're tasked to fight the strike fighters. This is kind of funny. But yeah, I mean, they can do this. To be fair, there's a lot of them. You kind of need that gunship to be hitting the LAVs instead. ACs, meanwhile, though, all bunched up here, all 3 of them, and they're just gonna slice this base into pieces. Yeah, that's not gonna go well. And an anti-air turret post comes out as well. The gunship tasked to fight the ACs. I don't exactly know. That seems a little bit backwards. The gunship also gonna get sniped though, because obviously triple assault cruiser anti-air are gonna be pretty good. No mag excel from Cookies, but I don't think he really needs it. The army for Jim is non-existent at this point. It looks like he has indeed solidified his win here. Not really any chance that Jim can come back from this position. So he's gonna power up the carrier into weapons. Let's go for a YOLO. We do have artillery out, by the way. Always nice to see people are recognizing that they're playing on College Teeth and building artillery. Wow, these LAVs getting absolutely chunked though. They're just staying too long under that carrier. Yeah, they did. Yeah, that's what I was mentioning at the start of the cast. We're casting these because they are the first games of JC8. So. And I gotta say, Cookies, like, not like perfect play or anything, but he's done a lot of really good moves here. I think he's been playing pretty well. Little detail here, it's not gonna matter in this match because this is pretty much over, right? But when you're in like a match that gets really close at the end, you want to make sure your artillery cruiser isn't actually doing more harm than good. So you'll notice he's actually shooting at strike craft right now. And as a result, some of his shells are like landing on the carrier. So you can turn off the auto fire, or you can target him only to attack that carrier. So the 2 options there. You know, I said there was no way Jim could come back, but I mean, he's actually brought this like shockingly close. He doesn't win this, right? But yeah, this is kind of like shockingly close, though. I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, that is the end. Jim's carrier goes down, and a second artifact extracted, why ever not. And that's going to net Cookies game 1 of this 2-game series. And game 2 going to be on the Boneyard. And this one, obviously, going to be the other player's pick, Jim's pick. He didn't actually type it in. He said Jim picks, and then left it open, so I filled it out for him. Again, Coalition versus Spawn though, so no faction switches. Cookies getting what we would generally say is the preferential spawn location. He does retire that base burner. 2 on RUs here, looks like. That should be AV rush then. Yeah, one of them flips back to CUs. I was gonna say he should have 1 on CUs here, but he's got it, so AV fab probably gonna be on the queue for him, but we'll have to see. And as for Jim here, clearly he sees that he needs to put some on RUs to go SC first here, so he's going to be changing the build up just a little bit. Although I think he wants one of these guys on CUs, but we'll see in a moment. Whoa. Because if you check the resources tab, he already only needs 10 more to get the SC started. In fact, he could do a quick drop like right now and probably have it. He's still going to do a cast lower bracket finals. I think we should. It's actually the one against Kitsune in Houston. So it turned out that all of Kitsune's other opponents forfeited. So he just won by default, which I think is kind of funny. Jim here going for an SC after 7, so this is going to be 7-up. This is very vanilla style, I like it. We haven't seen people do that build for some time. Normally it's just 6-up these days, but yeah, I pretty much carry your career. Yeah, I mean, I can't argue with that. AV Fab is on the queue as I expected, and this is a good timing for Cookies. It'll be done before 28, so that's I think he could have optimized like a couple more seconds off of this, like 5 more or something, but he is going to be feeling just fine about this. So it's going to be a defender versus attacker type of game here. Again, Jim moving his carry just a little bit early, but that SC comes out, so it's not a huge deal. He is going to be on 2 base in just a moment. And so the push priority is on Cookies here, as he has to be the one who pushes on his opponent to bring this game back to even. Jim's base runner, though, and I've mentioned this before, obviously casting games from Captain Pink, I think is out of position. I think he needs this base runner back at home. And then he also should be throwing a probe out around this timing. And the reason is because if your base runner is out here, it might just get caught by units, and in this case it's just 1 LAV, so he'll probably get this one back home safely. But it's not going to do anything for the defense if it dies, right? It's just too risky. So this is a bit lucky for Jim that he gets caught by 1 LAV, and it's going to keep him honest till back away. If this was like an AV finding this thing, it would just die anyway. And in fact, he's going to drop the turret out here, but this is not a great position for the turret. LAV gonna scout, this is SC first, he sees the base runner here, so he should know, okay, so probably main base, the one that I want to attack them. And Jim may be able to pick up this artifact, but like, this turret also is not gonna help him get the artifact to the extraction zone. So armor 1 already done for Cookies, that's very good. And now he's got 2 options, basically. He can go for another support cruiser himself and try and get up onto 2 base, or he can go for production upgrade and pump out a bunch of AAVs here and then try and make this, you know, really concentrated AV rush. Looks like carry production upgrade going to be the choice for him, so that's what he wants to do. And then usually the key is to leave like 3 or 4 of them over here or something, then clear out the turret and run into the base. Your opponent doesn't know that you're doing it, because if he knows, he's just going to build up more defense. But AV's only just now scouted for Jim. Again, no probe, so he didn't know about this before. So Railgun Fab going to start, but this is pretty late. And this AV will definitely be on the base. Question is, how much damage is it going to get done here? Cookie's starting up some LDMs, I like that as well. And these AVs, like I said, are going to catch the Space Runner, so very, very unlikely that Base Runner makes it out with that artifact. Smoke can have to be used here, though, so Cookie's getting a little bit ahead of himself. He could smoke again. He does, but it's a little bit too late. Yeah, okay, so he goes down here. But he doesn't want to fight the AVs, like, he doesn't want to fight the LEVs one at a time with these AVs. If he has more than one, obviously Lancaster's Law, right? He trades much, much better. So he's still going to trade well. I mean, I always say, like, LEVs are never going to trade very well against AVs, right? But he probably wouldn't have lost anyone if he'd been just a tad more patient. But Railfab is done in a moment here, so it's true he does want to get a move on with this build. Second LEV chunked. These 2 guys are still healthy, so they can go in, and this guy probably ought to go back and get healed up. Heavy's 2 done now for Jim, or for Cookie, sorry. And I think he actually, yeah, he's going for a support cruiser here, actually. So I think production upgrade was a mistake. He probably should have queued this up faster. But his eco is still going to be fairly strong off the back of this. And obviously Jim's still not really responding here. He wants to pull off the line, because again, AVs have that AoE back now, so they do a lot of damage to, you know, clumped up salvagers like this. Turret gonna find this second LAV here. Cookie's gonna kind of be, you know, smacking himself for forgetting that that was there, but it's not a huge deal, it was just 1 LAV. He wanted that for scouting, though. But he sees the railgun now, so he knows what the tech choice is. And actually, this guy's a little too close. I think if he wants it, he can just drive up and kill this. Yeah, he sees it, too. He's even gonna smoke his approach, which is really, really nice. He's kind of letting him get away now. Well, get away or just leave both of these guys exposed. He's actually able to kill both of them if he wants them. Yeah, he catches 1 anyway. Looks like he's going to back away from that point. Again, you got to be really careful playing Rails against AVs, right? You need to keep them far away, because the advantage that Rails has is actually not in DPS, it's in range, right? The AVs have much more DPS than Railguns do. Actually, no, AVs are faster. They have 80 speed and Rails have 70. Rails obviously more DPS against armored targets, I guess that's true, but against, you know, fairly unarmored targets such as themselves, Rails have much, much less DPS than AVs. So if you let them get on top of you, they'll actually kill you. And now we got Fighter and Gunship Fab coming out from both players here, but again, it's Cookies who's actually gotten some eco harass done, and he could have pushed it even a little bit further, but Jim hasn't actually replaced the salvagers yet. He needs to rebuild 2 here. I'm not sure if he notices. Little tip, you can see... Oh no. Yeah, actually Cookies has a misset too, but you can see how many units you have with saturation, like up here on the top. It'll tell you how many CU harvesters and how many RU harvesters you've got, so... if you're not sure if you have, like, missing salvagers or not, just check up here and that'll tell you. Either that or you can select the base and count the numbers. So it's actually only 3 here for Cookies on this second base. But this guy says 2 out of 2. What the crap? That's a little weird. I wonder if this is like a replay bug, actually. Like if there's an invisible salvager here. I mean, it's happened with interceptors before, but I've never seen it with any other unit. Curious! Anyway, Probe here gonna try and scout the tech information. It's gonna get harassed by these LAVs though, and I don't think it's gonna make it to the carrier. Yeah, so that's a little bit of a yike. Probe. But more damage done to the main as the AV snipe out both of the remaining Steel Harvesters and again one of the RU dudes. Really, really nicely done. He's got smoke still as well, so he can actually get out if he wants. Looks like that is going to be what he does. Whoa! He kills the spotter, so I don't think he's in danger anymore. Jeez. This guy's a freaking commander, dude. That's pretty nice. Yeah, this has got to be a replay bug, because obviously if it says he's got 2 mining here, and I don't think his economy is weak, so it looks like he really does have more guys here than the replay is letting us know about. Jim, though, by the way, has not actually built any air units here, so he's got the tech, but he hasn't started building. Probe gonna deploy again from Cookies, so this time he's not gonna get sniped like that. He's gonna see this turret, obviously. Oh no no no! Look, you don't have any units to kill this turret, so you might as well just bring this guy to the extract. There's no reason to waste your time tossing out this TJ here, but that's alright. He will head off to the extraction zone. Strike Fighter's gonna launch from him now. He's gonna see Strike Fighter tech though if he's looking. And so, actually, you know, you might consider not using these things if you're him, because obviously if Strike Fighters follow from your opponent, they can kill you while you don't have any missiles, but, in this case, he's gonna go for it anyway, and indeed he is correct. There are no Strike Fighters in reality from his opponent. It's kind of like a... I mean, he's got the tech. It's not a fake. He just hasn't built any, straight up. Gonna want to hit the salvagers here. It's like, misses the micro just a little bit. But I really can't judge about this, because this is exactly what I would do, so... Second volley, though, is going to hit these salvagers, and I think they will get 1 kill. Maybe 2, actually. This guy's still got missiles. Yeah, he does get 2, in fact. This guy's got a lot of missiles. Wow. Drops 1 onto the RU salvagers as well. And Cookie's on full 3 base if we can trust my guesswork here that he's actually got 2 on that base. Jim, though, meanwhile, 3 salves here, 2 salves here. It doesn't look great. He had that air tech, but I mean, you can't really go for air now, because obviously you're just behind in that regard. So what are his options for anti-air? I mean, I think he just has to build, like, base runners and pray or something. I think maybe. I think, like, for sure, you should never be sending only gunships to attack Eco, right? Okay, this is just BM at this point. Hey, it's Shrike. Yeah, I am, like, so hyped for it. We have way more players than I was expecting, actually. Like, I was like, yeah, we can get back to 16 for JC8. It's gonna be big. No, we have 24. And we have Sparrow. The only problem is that we don't have Descara, right? But anyway. Yeah, so I think you should never be sending just a gunship to attack Eco. I think if you send a gunship and strike fighters, they're so good at, like, confirming the kills. You might as well, right? And by the way, this LAV trying to clear out the targeting jammers so that the turret could shoot again, but the turret is dead now, so. Looks like support cruiser are going to be targeted by Cookies here as well. He should. And then TAC Bomber Fab coming out as well. The reason TAC Bomber Fab a really good choice here, because if his opponent goes for AV Fab to get missile batteries, which is kind of the normal thing, whale bombers can kind of, they can't ignore missile batteries, but they can kill them, which means the strike fighters still have range to do whatever the heck they want. And then you would expect just like a support cruiser, bombers, and carrier power, and that should be enough to finish the game. Yeah, exactly, right? Oh, it looks like Jim is gonna surrender. But the gunship will do really big AoE and just hit all of the salvagers here, and then the strike fighters can just come in and, you know, finish off the kills, right? So but yes, I think gunships are really good for killing Eco, especially when they're bunched up like that. Overgreed from Jim or just slow? Can't really tell. He did have the base runner out here and didn't throw the probe, which is a little bit greed, but I think it was just slow. But at any rate, Cookie's going to be happy with this one as he does take 2 wins. And that is going to be the game. And indeed the first series of Jaraci Cup 8. done and dusted. So thanks for watching, guys. And for you on stream, we'll move on to the next one as well.